Today, I want to talk about trust. And the reason that I want to talk about it today is that in the last week, I've had three separate conversations with three clients, all of whom were talking about a breakdown in trust and the impact that it had upon them. Now, one was with a colleague of theirs, the other was with their manager, and the third, they put it out there that it was to do with the organization. But in truth, when you kind of peeled away a few layers, the issue again was with their manager. And the impact upon them was really and is really quite significant. And it really got me thinking about, trust, how we manifest it. And I'm not going to try and be trite and, expound all and explain all about trust in a couple of minutes in this short video. But I really, I wanted to share with you the impact that it has and where it manifests itself. And for each of them, when you looked and listened to what they were saying, what it came down to was that there was an incongruity between what the person said they would do and what they did, or what they said they stood for and how they behaved. So there was this kind of collision of values. And the consequence of that was to break that trust. And in each of these situations, the relationship has been there for some time, but not for an enormous amount of time, but have been there for some time. And really what's happened is now these people have become disengaged, demotivated. And it reminds me of the work that Patrick Lencioni has written about extensively in 5 Dysfunctions of a Team and many other things that he talked about, where he actually says that trust is not one of these kind of tree hugging, nice to have, wouldn't it be great if we have, but if we actually focus on the task and we get all that done and we tick all the boxes, sure, we're going to get the result anyway. And if there's a little bit of trust on the way, sure, it doesn't really matter. But he does prove quite, absolutely that there is a direct linkage between the levels of trust and the results that we're getting in a team. So it's not just this warm and fuzzy. It's actually a fundamental requirement in business to do that. And we break that trust, by comments we make, actions we take, decisions we take, without thinking through exactly what is the impact on those people. And it does come down to the congruity between what we say are our values and how we behave. Do they actually stack up? And for all of us in leadership roles, we all have our flaws and our foibles and the things we get wrong and the mistakes we make, and we make the mistakes time and time again. But we get forgiven those if at the end of the day, the team of people who are working with you can say, no matter what, he or she will have my back. And that's a hugely important statement to be able to make. That no matter what, I know they do these things, it drives me insane what they do, all of that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I know that they will have my back and they will behave in a certain way because I trust them to do that. Now that's a huge thing. That's an enormous thing. And that binds a team together, and it creates leaders, because that's what people follow, not a title, but what somebody stands for and their values. So it's hugely important to that. So mindful of what I've seen and the damage that I've seen, careless comments, careless actions, thoughtless actions, not intended to be bad actions, but just mindless actions and not thinking through the consequences and the impact that it's going to have on other people. Here's where trust has been broken, and it's going to take a long time to build that. It doesn't get built overnight, or it doesn't get rebuilt in just one conversation, because yes, I will hear you saying the apology and the words and all of that, but my trust will only be rebuilt when I see that how you behave subsequent to that is going to be entirely consistent with that. So my plea to everyone in a leadership role, and leadership is not just with a title, to coin Robin Sharma, but we all have a leadership role in some sense or another, is to really challenge ourselves. Am I behaving in a way that is congruent with my values and what I say I stand for? Is the language I use, the way I speak to people, is that congruent with all of that? Because if it isn't, then do something about it before you do any damage. Because trust is the foundation of the team that you're building that will achieve the results that you need to achieve in the organization for you to achieve. So focus on the trust, and I'll talk to you real soon.